It's nobody else except for the people here who heard me. It's still her birthday eve. So Tina, if you are at home, happy extra happy birthday. All right. We've also got some congrats for people whose anniversaries we have to celebrate this month. We've got Sean Kane at 2 years. Actually, this was from April. So wrapping that up. Gloria Schmeichel with 8 years, John Graham 16, and Steve Smith celebrating 20 years with Carolina 1. So that's very, very exciting. Also very exciting, I told you guys about a new agent joining Long Point. Not really a new agent, and many of you know Paige. Paige is joining us from Coleman Boulevard. She's been with the company for 16 years. She's been at Coleman the whole time, right? Yeah. But I think with COVID and having to work from home, it just made sense because she's literally across the street from us and just decided, you know what, I'm just going to switch and be a little more convenient and close to my office. So we are very glad you're here. Yes, you were. It was like you're always with us. Yes, exactly. So we're very glad you're here. So for those of you who don't know Paige, I think you'll have an opportunity to get to know her. She's in the office a lot. In fact, maybe, what was it, last week, Paige came in and she was looking at her office space and we were talking and this sweet, sweet lady walked in the front door. Paige walked in right behind her and the lady came up to the front desk and asked Paige and Tony where some office was, some dermatologist office or something. And Tony and Alyssa were like, I don't really know what you're talking about. Paige is like, I know where it is. She's like, you know what? And she told the lady, she could tell the lady was like really frazzled and like late to her appointment probably and nervous. Paige goes, come on, let's go. I'll drive you over there. So Paige literally got in the car, let the woman follow her over there, got out of her car, walked her into the doctor's office to make sure she was good, and then came back to the office to do what she was doing. That's the kind of person Paige is. So it is awesome. So we're very glad you're here. We're happy you're here. Yes, and we're excited. So for those of you who haven't met her yet, I think you'll get the opportunity to just come in the office because she's here all the time. All right, our Guess Who for the week. We have some facts here. Let me get my chat box up so we can see who you guys might guess. All right, we've got Yay Paige in there in the chat box. Our fun facts for our Guess Who this week. This person was a cheerleader for 8 years, developed a subdivision, walks 3 to 5 miles per day, worked in banking before starting the real estate career, and married after 6 months of dating and going strong 46 years later.
Carrie Walker.
Pam Bishop, Carrie Walker, Will McKeechee. Will McKeechee isn't even 46, Lord. That's pretty good. That's a good one. Yeah, married. Patty Vick. Oh, she's not saying anything. Stone-faced over there. Oh, man. All right, more to come on that. Everyone's laughing at Thorne's comment for Will McKeechee. Will McKeechee probably isn't even on this morning, so he can't even hear it. Right. So more to come on that. All right, so a couple of upcoming events. We have our March of Dimes. The baby game is behind me. So if you came in this morning, you received a little card. Even if you have no idea, you can put guesses down like Will McKeechee if you want to. There's 2 on the back as well. I'm not going to pull it down because Tony put it up there, but there's 2 pictures on the back as well. So we'll make sure to email this out to you guys so you can see it. And then you can either Venmo me or you can Venmo Alex. It's $10 to play. March of Dimes, obviously. Alex is in a closing this morning, so she's not with us. But we'll send out her Venmo and my Venmo this afternoon just so you guys can participate and raise a little funds. Carrie Walker, welcome. You were just guessed as the Guess Who of the week. Were you a cheerleader for 8 years? Because you were a cheerleader? All right, Carrie said he didn't want to give it away, so that's why he came in late. All right, so March of Dimes fundraiser baby guessing game is live. We'll send out that the picture this afternoon along with the Venmo information. Oh, there's the pictures right there. $10 per ticket. Look at Alyssa. All right, so Cocktails for Community. This is May 12th. I have a feeling this is going to be a sold out event if it's not already. $30 goes to Realtor Housing Opportunity Fund. We've got a lot of people from our office going. I know I saw some on the Facebook page going back and forth about who's going. It's May 12th. That's next Wednesday, I think, right? From 6 to 8 at Firefly, my neck of the woods. If you haven't been there yet, it's awesome. It's very, very pretty. It's wide open. And it's all outside, so it'll be really nice. So we hope to see you guys there, and the money goes to a good cause. This was in the mastery session yesterday, I believe. I had to cut off early, but I'm pretty sure they did talk about real estate reviews yesterday. But National Homeowner Week is next week, the 10th through the 14th. And this visual is really small, but Michael sent out an email saying everyone who registers that week is going to get a free newsletter. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Adam was dodging a spider for everyone at home. Yes, so National Homebuyer Week, the 10th to the 14th. So the goal is to get your clients, past, current, future, sphere of influence, friends, family, everyone, to register on your buy side feature of your website. I'll send out a tutorial just showing you how to do this later today, but then they will get a monthly home valuation that is live and it's interactive. So they can kind of click through it. They can see what their house is worth. They can see all the houses that have sold nearby. They can see what they sold for. They can see how many people are looking for a home just like theirs. And chances are, if it's not coming from you, they're getting this monthly information from somebody. And it's probably the Z word. So let's have it come from us rather than the Z word. Okay? So more to come on that. I'll send it out. But we're going to try to get as many people as we can registered on your website. So they're getting something from you. It's just another touch. And you don't have to do anything. In fact, I got mine for my house this morning. And I was like, interesting. Wonder what it's worth. Not that I'm selling it, but myself. Yeah, myself. Although Alex Torrega sends me a lot of stuff, so it could have been from her too, but I think it was from me. All right, we did this a couple of weeks ago on Town Hall. Lauren Zarillo was featured. Remember that? The Town Hall about multiple offers, and it was an agent panel. I said stay tuned because the next one coming is going to be on the opposite end of that, receiving multiple offers as a listing agent and navigating through that. That's coming up this Tuesday, the 11th. So we will do that live here. If you guys want to come in, we'll do it and we'll just kind of cast it on this TV and we'll have everybody come in. And I think that helps if it's an agent panel. It also helps open up discussion thereafter. So we'll do that. We'll remind you about it, but it should be pretty good. I think everybody could benefit from that, especially when you're in that moment and you're like, gosh, I need those notes from that agent panel. So you definitely will leave picking up one or two good things. No, we're having a watch party. Yeah. Yeah. I wish they were broadcasting it from here. So yesterday I was at Park Circle. This is just a reminder. A floor duty lead came in. I was the only one there. I was there. Well, I was there with two other brokers and Katie Moss and Brooke because we were doing a strategy session. But it was a floor duty call. And it was kind of an interesting call because she was actually calling to ask me if we could have somebody help her stage her house. And I said, sure. Are you planning on selling your house? And she's like, no, I don't think so. Maybe. And I was like, yeah, you are. You just don't know it yet, girl. So I actually referred her to Jeanette for the staging aspect of it. And I said, I think I said something like, have you talked to any other stagers yet or any realtors yet? And she said, no, in fact, my daughter's a designer and I feel kind of bad calling you because she gave me this whole plan of what I should do to my house. But it means gutting my house and removing all my stuff. And I want someone to work with the stuff that I have. And I was like, oh, okay, well, Jeanette. So it's perfect. So Jeanette's going to reach out to her and hopefully that turns into something. But I'm telling you, there's opportunities there. Every time I drive down East Montague, whether I'm coming to the gym or going to the gym or I'm going to the wine bar, something like that, I'm like, dang, there's a bunch of people walking by the office today and nobody's on floor duty, especially on the weekends. And I just got a dog bowl to attract the dogs because there's like 100 dogs that walk by. So now you guys are really going to get traffic. So think about it. You got work to do anyway. You might as well do it from that space. There's little tables you can sit outside. So think about it and sign up. The links are in my email signature, or you can reach out to Tony and Alyssa to sign up. Reminder on Central Lock, we don't really have to beat this down. We've talked about this a bunch, but on January 1st, 2022, your card will no longer work. You have to have the app. So you might as well just get the app now. It's actually less expensive. The app is only $75 a year, whereas the card is $125. So you're saving a little bit of money there. But your card is not going to work anymore after January 2022. Good? Okay. Perfect timing. What is perfect timing? What is this all about?
Starbucks cards.
Yeah, Starbucks cards. Who cares? Why? Give us your stuff. So So far, since we started this Perfect Timing Award, it's a Starbucks gift card if you turn in your paperwork within 48 hours of ratification. And Doug Gepford was the first. Kudos to Doug. Tina Hartford, Molly Lawson's gotten 2. Tyler Davidson, maybe we should really be giving them to Amy instead of Molly. I know Molly's not turning her paperwork. She's just like turning contracts. Amy's the one who gets the Starbucks cards. Tyler Davidson and Mary Maloney also got Starbucks cards. So thank you guys very much for turning in your paperwork. You have no idea how helpful that is. We're processing a closing right now. Today's May 5th. I think 6th. Yeah, Tina's birthday eve. We processed it yesterday. It closed in guess what month? February. That's how long we had the commission check. It's not Fessler. I realized, for those of you who don't know, Greg was like the worst at paperwork. He used his paperwork delay as his savings account. So he would literally have like 9 commission checks on his desk. And I'm like, don't worry, we don't have goals to hit every month or anything. Like your sales don't matter for our goals. It's a budget. Yeah, that's the way you budget. Yep, there you go. So anyway, perfect paperwork. We need your paperwork. Please, please, please. Abby Newton commented on here. Send help, please. That's Greg's daughter. So thank you very much for turning in your paperwork on time. There's a lot of different reasons why we need it other than just to get you paid. All right, our activity contest. Here's me over here like we can get to 20 people, hopefully. But we're at 15. We've got a steady 15, so that's good. Thank you guys for participating. Tell me what you really think about this. Come on, give it to me. Be honest. The 12-week year? Yeah. So you want it to be more activities. Yeah. Got it. Right. Feedback is, it's kind of annoying. The emails every day. I get it.
I only go when you fill it out
Once a week, yeah.
Because if you go in and fill it out day 1,
you got to go back.
you buy that within day 2.
Yes.
So it's not like you pay for it.
Okay, good feedback. 12-week year is a little bit different and sometimes easier to focus on, but I'm thinking about running another 12-week year. So we'll talk more about that. Dave's been asking me about it for a while. What else? What other feedback? It's helpful. It's good. I mean, some people have said, I need this. Madison Reed has been saying, I need this. I need it to reset me every week. As long as you don't hate it, I'm just trying to get y'all to be a little more inspired about it. So we'll come back on it. But thank you for playing. Paul Lynch, Duval Acker, Georgia Svensson, Kimberly Ritter, Abby Newton, Madison Reed, Alex Tragus, Suzanne Jacobs, Elizabeth Murphy, Tina Byers, Laura Goolsby, Kristen Ackerman, Andrea Rose Rousseau, Dominique House, and Dorothy Shea. Good stuff, guys. Thank you very much. All right, our partners. Steve, we're going to hear from you about some commercial stuff. You can, ooh, who is that? $10 to March of Dimes, Leah. The phone's broken. Your wallet's about to be broken too. Just hit that button.
Okay. Cool. Well, hey, good morning. I am excited to be at Long Point Road. I get jazzed just coming here and seeing you guys and feeling the energy. You guys are killing it. Congratulations on a great start to a year. The people here, the energy, the leadership, Maggie is just extraordinary. So I am pleased to be with y'all today. I've got good news, and good news to share with what's going on in the world. If the government will leave the economy alone, which they show no indication that they are willing to do, we're going to do just fine. Thank you very much. And I'll tell you about all that. A couple late breaking things before I get into the stats. You probably already heard from the NAR that the Biden administration has proposed severely limiting or in fact eliminating the 1031 like-kind exchange over certain numbers. This is a huge deal. If you work with investors at all, 1031 has been around for 100 years and has worked very well in helping investors to defer their taxes on their gains. And so this is a serious part of our business, and it's a serious indicator with what may happen. So stay tuned to that. The NAR is on top of it. I'm in the CCIM, which is a commercial entity that's very instrumental in working with the government as well. So I don't think the fat lady has sung yet on the 1031, but just want y'all to be aware of what's going on in that regard. Some good news yesterday happened at the federal level, and a federal judge struck down the CDC eviction moratorium that was put in place last year. That's a great example of government overreach. We got to do something. The economy shut down. I get that. So we pay people stimulus money, we pay them unemployment, and we prevent them from being evicted if they don't pay their rent. Well, you think about landlords as being a big corporation somewhere. Well, that's not true. A lot of mom and pops own rental property. In fact, I talked to one of our residential agents yesterday who owns rental property, and she mentioned a couple in particular. The husband works at the Ports Authority. The wife works for MUSC. Together, they're making about $120,000, $130,000 a year. And so when the eviction moratorium came into place, they haven't paid their rent for a year. And so, this is a lady just like us, just making a living, and she just happens to have some rental property. So this is a big deal. It's great news for us. We'll see what happens as we go forward. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed with that. Most of that's happened since I did these slides. So my apologies for not having something on the video.
Donate to RPAC.
Yes. Yeah, and let me say that Maggie's comment was to donate to RPAC. A lot of people don't like politics, and my comment is, well, tough. If you're in real estate, politics is part of our life, and everything that we do is touched by the political entities that are in place and in charge. If you don't like politics, please donate to RPAC, because we have people that do like politics and will represent and protect our interests at the state and regional and national level. So be active with your money, even if you're not active in going to meetings. The good news on the unemployment side is that last year, almost exactly a year ago, our unemployment rate was 15%, just an incredibly high number. Since then, the economy has added 14 million jobs. Just in February, almost 400,000 jobs, almost 1 million jobs in March. And so things are moving ahead extremely well. Now that the election's over, you have people that will actually admit that we've had a V-shaped recovery. Well, what's a V-shaped recovery, you might ask? Well, a V-shaped recovery is caused when the economy drops precipitously on one side and goes into a trench, and then it rebounds just as precipitously coming out of that downturn. And so that looks like a V on the graph, and magically, I just happen to have an illustration of that. And so that's what we're looking at right now. So we're very pleased with the national and regional and especially local economies. Go back one slide. The GDP in the first quarter of this year, January, February, and March, was 6.4% increase. We were within a point of our peak in 2019. So again, very good news on the national economic front. Unemployment now nationally is 6%, from 15% to 6%. Y'all may remember that the standard for 100 years has been 4% unemployment is full employment. If you have 4%, then everybody that wants a job has a job. Last year, just before COVID, we were at 3.5% nationally and 3.2% in South Carolina. So we've come a long way in a short time. Still got a long way to go. It's better in South Carolina, 5.1% unemployment. And it would be even better than that if some of our major cities would get out of the way and let our economy go, let them horses run. Well, what's now? What's trending? The magic words are Berkeley County. From Canehoy Plantation on Clements Ferry Road to Ridgeville is absolutely on fire. If you haven't been out to Cane Bay and Nexton in that area, I would invite you to please go take a look at what's happening, because that is the nexus of the Charleston economy and our growth right now. It's all happening there. Nexton, Carnes, Cane Bay, Canehoy Plantation, if you're not aware, on Clements Ferry Road, where the Publix is, where the schools are, is going to be another Daniel Island. It's going to be 10,000 homes, apartments, offices, retail. Again, another little city. Clements Ferry Road is being widened as we speak, so it'll be 5 lanes from 41 all the way to 526 before long. But if you are looking for opportunity, Berkeley County is the place. Dorchester County, somewhat. Why is that? The answer is land. There's more available dirt to put stuff in Berkeley County than anywhere else. You also have a friendly government. The Berkeley County people are very friendly to economic development, very similar to North Charleston. That's the upside. The downside is Berkeley County is slow. Oh my goodness. They're willing, but we're stuck in the 70s from a system standpoint. But anyway, we're getting there. And if you're not selling stuff in Berkeley County, they're getting some. New construction spending. This is total construction spending in the country. In January, it was $1.52 trillion. That's the highest monthly total since 2002. So if you doubt that the economy is on the growth trend, take a look at that. That includes industrial, commercial, residential, everything. It would be even higher if we could get building materials, if we could get windows and 2x8s. But that's a different story. So anyway, we're cooking with gas. What's trending in Mount Pleasant is near and up close and personal with all of us. No more mask mandate. You don't worry about getting arrested if you're not wearing a mask in public. That's the good news. The downside is we have a multifamily construction moratorium in place. And so all those people that want to move to Mount Pleasant that can't afford a home yet are not going to be able to get an apartment in Mount Pleasant. And all the people that want to live here, that work here, are still going to be stuck on 526 every morning. So elections have consequence. So I'll say, have y'all heard of revenge travel? Revenge travel is a magical trend that means our roads are clogged every day. There are people here that wouldn't normally be here that couldn't travel last year, but the travel business is just exploding. The cruise industry will reopen in July, apparently. I'm not a big cruise person, but everybody that's not going on a cruise is driving to Charleston. You may have noticed all the New York tags. But it's great for us with our tourism industry and the people that are Charleston wannabes and want to live here. So they're going to want to buy a house. Vacancy rate is very low. It is less than 5%. And so all those apartments that got built have people living in them. And the same thing for office. Office and retail have been the most hard hit in the pandemic downturn. In Charleston, not so much because of demand. Now, we've got some big office and some big retail that are still empty. That'll take time to either sublet or relet, whatever else. But small stuff, my biggest struggle in the commercial world is just like y'all, I don't have product to sell. I've got huge demand, people that want to spend money in Charleston. And the frustrating thing is that we can't deliver what they're looking for. Mostly flex space, small office, small retail. And when I say small on the commercial side, I mean less than 50,000 square feet is small. There's a lot of construction going on up in the Berkeley County area for big flex space, big warehouses, 150,000 to 500,000 square feet. But if you need 20,000 or 5,000 for your clients that are coming to town, that's very difficult right now. And so the prices are going up commensurate with the demand and the lack of product. Very similar to there's lots of synergy between commercial and residential. The good news is money's still cheap and there's money available. 5 years ago, to do a $10 million deal, we'd have to get 2 or 3 banks together. Now I've got lenders calling me for lunch. And so they're looking for deals. So it's a great trend. It's a great, we have problems in not having the product, but huge demand. So that's a good problem to have if you have to have a problem. There is. That's a great point. Well, one of the issues is the government interference in that we're still paying people to stay home. And as long as we're paying people more to stay home than they can make as a dishwasher, it's hard to hire a dishwasher. And so when that stops, I think that trend will change. Have y'all heard of the Regional Development Alliance, the RDA? The RDA is one of the greatest things that's ever happened to Charleston. It came into being when the shipyard and Navy base closed in 1993. And so these guys have been instrumental in bringing Volvo and Mercedes and all even Robert Bosch expansion. And the reason that they're still here 30 years later, a lot of that is attributable to the Regional Development Alliance. These are the guys that they work with the Commerce Department and bring businesses in. They're bringing in people and developers that are going to have jobs to offer that are high-paying jobs. These are not entry-level positions. And so the people that are moving to town, I heard somebody yesterday speculate that Charleston's going to be the size of Charlotte in 15 years. Well, we better start building some roads if that's the case. But the RDA and the Council of Governments, another thing that's going to help with employment, especially in North Charleston and the city of Charleston, is the rapid transit system. You probably heard about that in the news. The bus line that's going to run from Somerville all the way to downtown Charleston, and you'll be able to make that trip in an hour and 15 minutes on a bus. And so it's going to be, designated lanes and designated bus stops for the rapid transit system. So this is exciting in that people that can't afford to live on the peninsula will be able to work there without driving a car and without spending $25 a day to park, which is kind of a negative if you're working on an hourly wage. But there's good stuff going on to address some of the issues that we have. If you go to lunch today, I guarantee you'll see a now hiring or help wanted sign wherever you go to eat. But that's an indicator of the government still paying people to stay home. My opinion. That's not the company opinion. That's mine. All right. Maggie would be very disappointed if I didn't have an acronym over the week. And so when I come, I have to have an acronym. Any guesses on what GRACE, RACE, stands for? I like the way y'all think, but no, none of those are correct. Growth is good though. I like anything that starts with growth. All right, GRACE stands for Greatness Results After Choosing Excellence. I was going to say that. Yeah, that's what they all say after you reveal the answer. Yeah. Got a quote from Pat Riley, the famous NDA coach. Excellence is a gradual result of always striving to do better. This is a great representation of Carolina One and how we go to market. You guys are great representatives of this. When you choose to operate at a level of excellence, everything changes. And you drive the lady who's looking for directions to the doctor's office. instead of just telling her where it is. It's platinum level service. It's serving people the way you'd like to be served. And so this is if anybody knows me knows that I'm a big college football fan, and so I think about great college coaches. I think about Lou Holtz at Notre Dame. I think about Nick Saban at Alabama, Dabo Swinney at Clemson, and the mantra for Dabo is that the best is the standard. And once you decide the best is the standard, then that's a life-changing event, not just for business, but for your personal life. So if we do that, if we meet that every day, we'll get an attaboy from Maggie too. So that's right. Questions or comments for me? And yell because I'm deaf.
Okay. I've been reading some stuff about commercial property and what's going to happen to the COVID economy and people. Are we seeing that at all here in Charleston? As far as what type of property will be commercial properties will be
most affected? Yeah, the question is the COVID downturn and people working remotely going to continue, I think, and how is that going to affect commercial property? Short term is going to have a big effect. We have some large office space that's empty because companies have just decided to send their people home and work remotely, especially call centers, things like that, that work well. But the trend is, everything's cyclical. And so the trend is coming back the other way. And read something in Wall Street Journal not long ago. If Maggie is somewhat effective working remotely, how much more effective could she be if she was in an office where there is synergy and energy and accountability? And so that is going to lead back to people being in the office because of that energy. And, we miss a lot by not being together. And, our leadership teams have been working remotely for forever, and it's just not the same. Being in a room with Maggie and being in a room with Dave and Michael is a completely different experience from being remote. So I think, long-term offices are always going to be a part of going to market. On the retail side, the companies that have done both, that have maintained their brick and mortar presence and done a good job out the back door with Amazon and with deliveries, they have been very healthy through this. The people that were only in bricks and mortar, got their butts kicked. And Walmart was slow to respond. Amazon was way ahead of everybody. Amazon and Target really did well, but now Walmart's catching up on the online business, so they're doing pretty well too. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Those new jobs or this job
the question was the 14 million jobs new jobs, or are they jobs that have just have brought people back to work? The answer is yes. Both. That they qualify these as new jobs because those jobs were either discontinued, people were laid off, and with no intention of bringing them back unless the economy came back, and so they've basically been rehired. That's my understanding of how the numbers were extrapolated. Job forecast here, there are still more jobs here than there are people applying. Unemployment rate in Charleston market is 5.1% at the end of March. And so that's the closest thing the most recent number that I have. But the job outlook here, again, if the government will stop paying people to stay home, it would look even better. It was less than, it was 3.2% in March of last year locally. So the demand is there for people to work. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I don't go on to the RDA website, but I mean, like big companies, anyone interested in Charleston right now that we can
Man, what a great question. Is there anything coming, any big companies? In fact, I was on an RDA panel discussion last week with some of the big movers and movers and shakers. There are some big things in the works. I don't know what they are. They were intimated to us, but they're confidential. But there are some major players that are coming. One of the huge factors in our market is the deepening of the port to 52 feet. We're going to have the deepest port on the East Coast. I can't tell you the impact that's going to have on Charleston and the entire state and our economy. So we've got international companies that are looking to South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. I can barely speak English, but I'm very excited about these people, from Europe and Italy and the Pacific Rim that are interested in it. Everybody wants to be in Charleston. It's a lifestyle decision for a lot of folks. I've told people it is embarrassing that our road system is so poor. I told somebody I was sitting in traffic 10 miles south of Hilton Head because I-95 goes from 6 lanes on one side to 2 lanes, and it is embarrassing that occurs on our southern border. And so, if the president of Volvo had driven up 95 to South Carolina, he would have never located their plant here. I'm convinced. Thankfully, he flew into a nice airport.
All right, we got time for one more.
Yes, sir.
City owns these new apartments being sold off as condos, like we paying in the past.
Well, condo gardens.
If I could foretell the future, we'd be sitting on my big boat having a cold drink.
Repeat his question.
The question was, do I foresee these large numbers of apartments going condo? I really don't. I had hair at one time. That was before I bought condos. I had a banker friend when I owned some condos that thought he was a real jokester, and he asked me, the difference between a condo and syphilis. And I said, no, I don't. I'm sure you're going to tell me. And he said, you can get rid of syphilis. And so anybody that was involved in the condo debacle, the condo conversion debacle back then, would never go do that again. So my guess is no, we're not going to see that. And what's going to prevent that is that the demand for apartments is so strong with people moving into this market. That may happen somewhere, but I don't see it happening here. And sorry for the off-color joke.
That's okay. Unless you want us to do.
My brother is just reading the article in some publication. But they were comparing the court to courts.
Oh, wow.
That he said how he said the court was on fire.
Amen.
Not literally.
No.
That would be bad.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Very cool. Greg is saying, if you haven't had a chance yet to drive down to the new port in North Charleston, where they've kind of redesigned things, it's very impressive. So you should do so. Yes, on exit. Lots of construction still, but very cool.
Our port is one of the most inspected ports.
Oh, I did not know that.
98, what is it, 98% of those containers get inspected?
Yeah, Kristen said our port is also one of the most inspected. We're obviously where it's at. We know that. So thank you very much for being with us, Steve. Always good information. And Steve, you had some cool family stuff happening recently, didn't you? You became a grandpa again kind of recently.
I did.
Yeah, congrats.
Third girl.
Third baby girl. That's awesome. Congrats on that. Yes. And yes, your son joined mortgage, Stephen.
Got married too.
Yeah. So Stephen Ray got married, joined Carolina One Mortgage. Davis is an agent with Marcia. Got a whole family thing going on. So that's awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, let's roll forward to some production and caravan and have wants and needs, and then we'll hear from mortgage and we'll wrap with some stats. So I've got on here, let's close out April strong. you're like, it's May 6th. Why are we talking about April? Because our month runs, we give you until the 7th, I think. The girls are going to correct me if I'm wrong, of the month to turn in all your paperwork from April. So you will not get a Starbucks gift card if you turn in something from April today, but we would love for you to turn in all your stuff from April. So if you still have contracts underneath the seat of your car, please go get them and bring them in. Okay, thanks. All right, so 32 listings for 26 million, average price of 621, 94 sales for 50 million, average price of 535, 78 closings for 37 million, average price of 484. Lots of people to highlight for the month of April. We've got Alex Terragus, Allie Atwell, Ann Wise, Ashley Marsh, Bob and Sherry Alford with 2, Casey Benton with 4, Charlotte McDonald with 2, Chrissy Strickland 4, Cindy Ellenberger, Chilla Stankovics with 2, David Thompson, Davis and Rivers Group with 3, Dominique Snyder with 4, Dorothy Shea, Doug Getford with 6, DeBose Cuthbert 2, Juval Acker 4, Elizabeth Murphy 3, the Fessler team with 5, Gail Young, Haley Smith with 4, Heather Piedmont, Homes of the Low Country with 5, Hometown Property Group 11, Jeff Cloth with 9, Jen Huffman, John and Elaine Nugent with 6, Karen Taz, Katrina Johnson with 8, Kristen Ackerman, Lauren Zarilla with 9, Leet Rand team with 2, Leslie Evans, Laura Goolsby 3, Madison Reed, Mary Guest 4, Mary Maloney 3, Melissa Loy 4, Nancy Carol Crick 4, Nicole McCabe, Northrop team, Pam Bishop 4, Poppy team 4, Patty Vick 2, Paul Lynch, Renee Kramer team with 17, Shelby Halal with 2, the Smith team with 6, Carrie Walker group with 5, Perella group with 10. That's awesome stuff, guys. Thorne Cathcart 3, Tina Hartford. What a birthday month. 8 deals for Tina Hartford. Tyler Davidson with 9 and Whitley Boyd with 6 with a wired shut jaw. Good stuff, guys. Yes, it might be. She can barely talk, but she can still ratify contracts. That's awesome. Our top agents of the month. We're going to start putting this in the sales meeting every month. You guys see it on the Facebook page and also on the on Rose. But our top agents of the month, we've got Jeff Cloth on there, Hometown Property Group, Nancy Carol Crick, the Renee Kramer team, Tyler Davidson, the Poppy team, Shelby Halal, and Pam Bishop. So good work, everybody, for that. Good stuff. A couple of strategies that are winning this week, just as a little tidbit for you guys. Some of this is not new to you and what you're doing, but maybe 1 or 2 things might pop out. Escalation clauses are obviously a big strategy that's helping right now, especially multiple offers. Moving fast without waiting on the offer deadline. So I sent an email out about this, I think on Friday. But if you see a listing that says no offers will be accepted until Monday at 5, don't wait until Monday. Get your offer in, because agents are actually not abiding by that Monday at 5 when they put it out there. And sometimes the agent can't control it. So the seller has the right to accept an offer at any time. It's not up to the agent. But when you as an agent are instructed by your seller to say, let's give me until Monday at 5, and then all of a sudden the best offer in the world comes in and they call Katha and they're like, hey, we want to take this offer. And you're like, but it's Sunday at 2. And we said Monday at 5. And they're like, I don't care. Well, who looks like the silly person? Katha, right? So it stinks when you're in that position. So really try to advise against those deadlines if you think they're going to waver, and don't make them very long. And on the other side of it, as a buyer's agent, just get the offer in. Increasing the seller's net. So we talk about this a bunch. The more cash you have, the better your offer is to the seller. How else can you increase the seller's net? What else can you do? Obviously a higher sales price, but then you run into what? Appraisal issues. You can put an appraisal protection on that, but that only goes so far. So what else can you do? Yeah, that's a good idea. Pay the seller's closing costs. Man, what a creative idea. Somebody knows how to read. Just think, like, how can I increase their net? What else do they have to do? What else is on the settlement statement on the seller side? How can I remove those things? That increases their net. That's been a big one in the last week. And then this one also, free or very inexpensive leasebacks, because most sellers right now are saying, I don't know where I'm going. And that's really anxiety provoking. So if you can have them lease back for a portion of time, that's very helpful to the sellers. Now, remember, if you're getting a mortgage, You can only lease back for how long?
This one for
60 days.
60 days. Okay. Every type of loan. 60 days. Otherwise, it has to be a loan processed as a second home, which totally changes everything. Yeah. Investment.
check with insurance because they cannot be a renter's policy.
Right. Can't be a renter's policy. Right. And then you have a holdover tenant and you can't evict them. That's exactly right. Well, maybe now you can. 60 days. Yes. Yeah. Even if that's a good question. Paige said, what if they're not paying? What if the seller's not paying? It's not a true like rental back situation. Doesn't matter. The purchaser has to move in within 60 days. In fact, they sign an affidavit at closing, right? Saying that they're going to. So, all right, let me help you strategize if you're in that predicament. We've got lots of creative things going on. I have the benefit of seeing multiple scenarios. So if you're stuck or you're not sure how to strategize something, let me help because I've got lots of different scenarios that we've worked through that have worked and that haven't worked. Sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. All right, so Insta Solutions, just a reminder. It's very interesting to me because I put a property in my neighborhood in InstaList, and I've had probably 6 or 7 that turn up as matches, and not one of the agents has actually reached out to me. I'm obviously not selling it. I put it in there prior to the agent who is selling it, and I just haven't taken it out yet because I haven't had the time. But I'm like, this is really interesting. I probably have 5 or 6 in our company that are coming up as matches, and they're not calling me. Yeah, so I'm like, and we've talked about this, huh? Oh, they match because the notes in their system, you know, like how you can put agent notes in, they match except for one. One wanted beachfront. My neighborhood is certainly not beachfront. It might flood every once in a while, but it's not beachfront. But I just putting this out there as a heads up. Don't get lazy trying to find things for your buyers by not leveraging the advantage that we have. 2 agents have told me, I put it on InstaList, but I haven't gotten any feedback. Then I go live on MLS, and even our own agents in our own office are, hurry up, got to show it, got to get my offer in. When you had the opportunity before it went live on MLS. So let's just be mindful of that. I know it's stressful, but try not to get lazy on that front. Yes.
I just got a list.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nothing at all, but I put it on Facebook.
And you got a bunch.
It's already sold.
Yeah. Chip just said another further example. He put a listing in Dunes West on InstaList and got no response, and then put it on Facebook, and it's under contract. Yeah, the pictures are hard, and you can put pictures in InstaList, but I think only 2 or something like that. Yeah, a pool. Yeah. It's hard. InstaList is not a perfect thing, but it's an advantage we have over other companies. Other companies in our market are trying to create something similar, but they don't have the market share, so it's not effective. So if we don't use that advantage, guess what happens to it? We lose it. So let's use it. All right, Kimberly Ritter, tell us about your listing at 3405 White's Cabin. I know she was on here earlier. She may have had a showing or something. Yeah, I don't see her. Huh. All right, so she's got, it's probably already under contract, but it's in Park West, 850, 4-bedroom, 6-bedroom, 4-bath, big house, 4,000 square feet. All right, Renee Kramer team. I know none of the girls are here. Sold? All right, 239.5. Nothing at 239 last in our market right now. All right, Bonnie, are you with us to tell us about Oak Marsh? Where is everybody? Outselling. I know that she got 1 offer on it, but it didn't come to terms. I don't know if she's gotten any more. 5 bedrooms, 3-bath on the Marsh, 2693 square feet. I know they were looking at pricing on it, and something else down the street sold for like 912, and they were like, what the heck? I have no idea. Let's just put it on at this number. So it's probably under contract, like Kristen said. All right, Whit, tell us how 233 Coimbo is going. All right. She might be ratifying that later today. She's got an offer, but we'll see. And then you've got another one here, 30 Yacht Harbor. Okay, available for showings this week. Right? Greg Fessler said he's going to get his mouth wired shut. Whitley's killing it. 2 million. All right, and then we've got Tina. I know she was working on managing showings on her one that came back on the market. This is a new one. Tina, are you able to unmute and tell us about this one? I see you. She's got 213. She can't unmute. She's got 213 Blue Heron Drive, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1990 square feet in Quail Arbor. Tina, do you have an offer on that yet, or is it still available? Funny that the questions we have to ask nowadays. 4 offers. All right. Well, never mind then. Happy birthday. Good luck with Kirk, whatever that was, Kirkwall Drive too. I know she's already got an offer on that one as well. All right, and Nancy Carroll Crick, 200 River Landing, Daniel Island. You want to tell us about this one? No. Okay, pictures are a little off on this one. Is this big picture it?
That's the entrance.
Yeah, it looks like the entrance. Yeah, this one is from Tina's previously. Yeah. It's just a bad angle, Chip said. Chip, you're on fire tonight. Or today. All right, so Nancy Carroll, this one's available to go and show. Yeah, go and show 394.5. And then I think that was our last one. Oh no, Fessler's. You've got 2, I think, on here. Abby, do you want to unmute so everyone can hear, or do you want Greg to take this one?
Greg can do it.
Go ahead, Greg.
So, this one is on 18. Actually, right in the corner, so it's full back up.
Wow. Yeah, and then you got another one.
This other one is also.
Kristen. I think this is kind of funny because haven't you talked about this one in meetings a couple of times? Yesterday. Okay. All right. Well, Kristen Davis is going to sell it. So forget about all 12 of those showings. Kristen's selling it right now for you. Trying. Good effort. All right. And then I think that's all for that. So let me run through our needs on our chat box here. Lawrence Villa, I need. South Mount Pleasant for $750, detached, 3 bedrooms plus an office if possible, please. I also need a Daniel Island detached. That's hard. DI detached home, 900-ish. And anybody else on? Oh wait, hold on. Anybody else online with a have, want, or need?
Maggie, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Karen Tawes. We have a little condo down. It's on Sans Souci Street, and that is off of Rutledge downtown. It goes up to the Ashley River. We are getting ready to put that on the market, hopefully this weekend or Monday. It's 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. We've totally redone it, gutted the kitchen, new everything, new lighting. We put shiplap. and a barn door over the little washer dryer thingy doodle. So anyway, it's going to be in the low 300s, and it has a teeny tiny little view of the Ashley River, but it's a cool little complex back there. So it's coming on soon. So if anybody is a good rental or, you know, anything like that.
Awesome. HOA.
260 a month, 270 a month, something like that.
Okay.
Thanks.
And Gail Young has a condo or townhouse, max 500, 2-bed, 2-bath, prefer amenities and garage, or that's a need, sorry. Abby Newton, I need anything under 250 in Ladson, North Charleston, Somerville, or Goose Creek. Anybody else? Adam Perella.
We're doing these. I have two listings with a buy. Story. That. Also have Madison Park West.
Wait, lights that flash or flashy lights? Like flashy lights or lights that flash? Okay. Strobe light party. Price of that one? Yeah, let's make it 300. 400. Yeah.
And then I have one coming next week in House One, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. In my home. They're on sale.
All right. Okay. Adam's got 3 listings. Monk's Corner, 2 in Mount Pleasant, 1 at 299, Madison Park West, top floor unit, and 1 in Long Point, 450. Mary Guess, you got something? Thank you. Mary? Maybe she did by accident. All right, Elizabeth Murphy, what you got? Great house, single family, right? All right. Anybody else? Before we roll
Yes,
on?
I
Paige,
did.
what you got? Go ahead, Mary.
Okay, looking downtown, single family, Peninsula, Wagner Terrace. 2 girls want to live in a 2-bedroom, at least 1.5 baths. I need at least 1,400 square feet, 800 or less. Parking off street. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Paige, what you got?
One, I've got a unicorn that, 550 or below, Mount Pleasant, with pool. I've got somebody looking for up to 2 million on the pool.
All right.
Anything.
Yeah, Wit. Yacht Harbor. Sold. Just kidding. All right, we good? Kristen.
I already have actually some places to show these people on Saturday. I have 4 off-market, condo, townhouse, 350, doesn't need to be redone, South Mount Pleasant.
Adam.
That
Adam's
they're
thing.
really open to whatever.
Oh, that's not
They're
South
here to
Mount.
buy on Saturday.
On Saturday. Okay. All right, Angie and Charlene, give us your update on bridge loan stuff. Then we'll roll into stats.
Okay, guys. Okay. Good morning, everybody. We had a great meeting on Tuesday. We meet once a month now that COVID's over up at Salt Point with our core group, and Michael Scarfile came in. We talked about ribbon a little bit. So we put together just a very quick talking point program here, just to remind you that Andrew and I are here to help come up with creative ideas for your clients so that they don't have to put in a contingent contract. We know that that's a waste of time at this point. So there's a different set of bridge options, and some of them you're going to think of from the old days as bridge loans. So what we want to do is we want to help people figure out where can we get the money to buy this new house, because they qualify for both mortgages. A lot of times they just don't have the cash. So option A would be they can borrow or take funds from the existing equity in their home, or possibly borrow or use their 401k. So we have several local banks that will do bridge loans if they qualify. Of course, they have to qualify. They'll have to qualify for carry the current mortgage, new mortgage, and the cost of the bridge loan. So that certainly is an option because there's a lot of equity. Most banks at this point will do bridge loans up to 80% of the current value. Then you subtract out the mortgage. So you got to figure out, do they have the equity? Borrowing from your 401k is a great option. You can either take from your 401k and pay the tax penalties, or you can borrow from it. Each different employer has a different set of rules about how they can do that. We don't count a 401k loan against their qualifying because they're basically borrowing from themselves. So always.
Also, rule now, take out up to a certain dollar amount. Not sure what dollar. Take out a certain dollar amount. Repay it within 60 days.
60 days. Yeah.
Then you don't have any tax penalty.
Right. So you can take from your 401k up to 60 days without any tax penalty. Again, each individual will have to check with their overseer of their 401k program. So, and then ribbon. A lot of confusion, a lot of questions on ribbon. So ribbon can be used if you're selling a house or not. So if you're selling a house, you want to make an offer cash, ribbon comes in and does that for you on pre-approved clients only. And they will come in and do a quick close. So they basically are buying the house for your client, cash, quick close. So the pros, it's cash and it's quick close, which is what seems to be what a lot of sellers seem to want right now. The buyer has up to 6 months to sell their current home and then do a loan to buy the house that Ribbon has originally purchased for them. So this is also, this question came up last week with Karen Todd. This is also available to buyers who aren't trying to sell a house, but they just want to be able to go in with a stronger offer. The cons on this is the fees are up to 2%. You got 1% for them to do it, and then another 1% if they have to close because you're not closing in a timely fashion with the loan we do for you. Also, you've got to pay, if you have a current mortgage, you've got to pay that mortgage and you got to pay Ribbon the rent. And the rent is factored in based on what the Ribbon expenses are, taxes, insurance, all that type of stuff. So that's one thing to know. Another thing to know is you can't try to do this on the weekend with Ribbon. You need to plan ahead because they're not open on the weekend. So it's not automatic. So they'll go in and look at the address, and they also will already want to talk to the lender. So that means you got to do a lot of homework and have to be ready to go up front. But anyways, it's another great option. Michael Scarfile said that they have already had several closings. So with Carolina One. So somebody's making it happen. I don't know who those people are, but we can work those with you. Yeah. What Ribbon is doing is they're doing their own desk appraisal to make sure that it makes sense. And then we will do the appraisal on our loan. Theory.
What is the biggest risk?
Their house doesn't sell.
But if you're a buyer and you don't have a house to sell, then there's really no risk.
No risk. You're just paying a little extra.
So in order for you to get rid of this money has to cover the percent at loan. So if Ribbon of the new loan.
Of the price.
Because if we don't close, Ribbon is still buying out.
Yeah. So.
Where the risk is, if you don't get the loan and getting.
So what Paul is saying is when the Ribbon does the contract, they're expecting the 2% in the form of earnest money. And they'll lose that earnest money if they don't close later. Yeah. Yeah, 2% of the price of the home. So if you got a $500,000 house, you better be writing a check for 10 grand.
It's not a bad thing. It solves the problem for some people, but not everyone.
Right, right. So it's certainly great to have an option in your pocket.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that just to remind you that we will do after the fact is we do mortgage recasting. So we've been working with one with the Poppies that have a house to sell, want to buy a house. Well, the seller is not going to accept a contingent contract. We figured out how they'll qualify. We just got to find them enough money. And then when they sell their house, they'll come in and we'll do a recast because they don't really want that higher payment for the long term. There's a $300 fee, but the beauty of it is it's not a refinance. We take their current loan, they put in 50 grand and we reduce their payment the next month. Okay. There's a $300 fee because we have to do a new deed note mortgage. All right. Any questions on that? It's a great program. A lot of companies don't offer it. And the reason a lot of companies don't offer it is because they don't know who they're selling your loan to. We keep our loans. I think it's a 10% minimum. There is no maximum. So if they owe us 500 grand, they got to put at least 50,000 in. Great question. Okay. All right, y'all. I know I did not copy this rate sheet from the last 3 months, but the market is really flat. There's very, very few nuances in here, but let me just point out to you all, we are doing jumbo loans with 10.01% down. Don't ask me why it's not just 10%. I don't know. So we have excellent jumbo loan money. If they put 20% down, we're running 3.375. The less you put down, the higher the risk, the higher the rate. So excellent, excellent rates. And look at that VA, 2.99%. So we got great money, guys.
On the jumbo, like just right from yesterday, 10% down.
Uh-huh.
0.01,
Yeah.
3.5, no mortgage.
Okay, so Andrew said he just priced a jumbo with 10.01% down yesterday. 3.5% was the rate. Remember, the rate includes the mortgage insurance. So it's really like getting a 3.25% rate. So let us know. We're doing quite a few of these. It's very, very good money. Anyways, so I just want to remind you guys that we have these fun closing bags. This one's going to Molly for her closing Monday with a couple coming in. They work for the VA, but they've worked remotely for years in the Human Resources Department. So they're moving down with their 4-year-old for better quality of life. Andrew's got a couple of these. One for Leah. Leah, don't leave. I think she left. Did she leave? Oh, and the Renee Kramer team. So those are closings tomorrow. And I already gave Alex Terregas one for a new construction loan that we're closing tomorrow. Oh, that was a tough one. But we got it all done. We really appreciate your business. Just to mention, we're in the trenches with you. We worked 6 loans this past weekend with all of you all. We're happy to do it. We know what you're up against. Only 1 contract out of 6 got accepted. Please let Maggie help you sometimes. Or, I mean, some of them, there was just nothing that, I mean, some of the offers that were coming in. So anyways, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
All right, we're losing our babies over here. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right, so let's wrap here with some stats. I'm going to do this quarterly for you guys. Oh, you forgot thank yous. Sorry. Yeah. You said thank you.
I just say thank you. Oh, hey guys, thank you to Kristen Ackerman. We had a closing this week. Appreciate your business, Kristen. Thank you so much. And Nia Swinton Jenkins. This is a jumbo. Whoop whoop. Thanks, Nia and Tommy Lovett. We're working with a sweet couple. So we appreciate those new loans. And thank you to Kimberly Ritter, the Fessler team, Laura Goolsby, Tina Campbell Byers, Tina Hartford. So these are referrals where we've pulled credit and we're working on pre-approvals if they're not already pre-approved. And thank you guys for checking in with us. Let us help you with upcoming buyers or mortgage questions. Nia Swinton Jenkins, we had 2, Tina Byers, Dominique House, Alex Johnson, Andrea Rose Rousseau, Taylor Davidson, and Steve Smith. Thanks, everybody. Okay, now we'll wrap with some stats. I want to do this every quarter for you guys so you can kind of see where we're at. Paige and I were actually talking when we were agents at Coleman. Dave used to do this every quarter and we loved it. And I've done it before, but I have not done it every quarter consistently. So
end of quarter one in 2021, we've got 135 agents, partnerships, however you want to look at it. New partnerships that we pulled on in the first quarter of 2021, we have 9. Many of you guys met those 9 agents at the Viva Tacos happy hour, which was so much fun. Partnerships lost, that's 1. Many of you guys are aware, you saw my email that Digit went to another company. We had long and open discussions about that. We hate to see Digit go. He's obviously a huge player of our office, our culture, not to mention our production. But I think for him, he just really felt like he needed to try out a new company and see what it was like, and that's okay. I've talked to him a bunch of times since then. It's not necessarily the smoothest transition, but transitions are hard. So we're going to stay in touch with him, be there for him, support his decision because it's what's best for him at the time, even though I don't like it. I will support it. He is still in real estate. Yeah, he hasn't quit. So that's a good sign. Number of licenses returned to the LLR. It says 2, but there's actually 3 for many different reasons. Some for referral or retirement, and then 1 just because it just wasn't a good fit and doesn't work out. And when that happens, that's okay. We're not the right company for everybody. So any questions on that stuff? Oh, yes. 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 Good question. $51 fee for fingerprints. So Greg's question is, do I think you'll still have to get fingerprints? Yes, for sure. That's not going to change, I don't think, ever. In fact, in Jersey, I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. In Jersey, they get fingerprinted when they initially get licensed, but then never again. And I'm like, well, that's great. So you can just commit a crime after you get your license. Right. But still, if you commit a crime, who's letting you know? Who's letting the LOR know? Background check. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Fingerprint and background check. They do it one time and then never again. So yes. So once you finish your CE for your renewal, if it's not this year and it's next year, you finish all your CE. You don't have to wait to finish CE to schedule your fingerprint. But you'll pay $51, $51.75 online. You'll go and get fingerprinted, and then they'll send you a letter saying you're good to go, you're clear, you're not a criminal, and then you do your renewal like you normally do, $45 online. Any other questions? Good. By the way, these numbers are combined with Park Circle and Long Point. Not that there's that much, but end of quarter one summary. So 2020, we had closed 226 units by the end of the first quarter. So far in 2021, at the end of the first quarter, 322 units. Awesome increase. Volume was 96.8, and now we're at 153.7. Yes, over the best year ever in Charleston real estate was last year, right? I feel like we've been saying that every year for 3 years. We're up 42% in units and up 5.7 in volume. I really believe that volume increase is just the market float, but the unit increase is very impressive and I think a little bit rejuvenating because we've all felt like there's nothing to sell. So it's happening. It's out there. Agent earnings, the end of this quarter, 2021, $6 million in agent take-home money out of just this office and Park Circle. That's insane. 993 in company dollar. Percent of agents producing is 71. That usually holds pretty steady. It's pretty common across the board with all of our other offices. And then the average number of closings per agent in our offices is 7 in the past 12 months. That's awesome. Do you know what the market average is? 4. Less than 1 in their first year, but 4 in 12 months. So you're definitely notches above the market. And I thought this would be interesting too, and this is the last stat I've got on here. Number of agents at each split level. So these are this is our compensation plan, the number of splits that we have. Where would you guess the majority of the agents in our offices are between this office and Park Circle? 85 to 95? What'd you say, Paul? Above 85? So do you guys, some of you remember, we didn't always have an 85. I think it was 2018. We added the 85% split, and we adjusted the criteria to get to 75. The majority of our agents are right between 80 and 85. So we've got 29 at 60%, lots of new agents. 70%, we've got 13 agents. We have 19 at 75, 24 at 80%, 22 at 85%. So that two combination makes up almost half of our office between 80 and 85, which is great. 2 at 90%, 3 at 95, and 1 that just hit 100%. And that agent, because you keep in mind, this is calendar year, but that agent's fiscal plan, so their anniversary year doesn't end until September. They're at 100% now until September. Pretty cool. Questions on that? 50% split when you started? Kristen Davis said she remembers when back in the day when Paige and her had started and it was a 50-50 split. Crazy. And Carolina One has in our success plan, if you look online at the success plan on Rose, the last paragraph says what dates we review the compensation plan. And sometimes we make adjustments and sometimes we don't. The last one we did not make an adjustment, but I believe it was the year before in 2018, which is when we added the 85, which returned over, I think, $300,000 back to the agents. And we have that in there, and we do that because we know we have to keep up with the market. We have to keep up with the competition and what they're doing. So we make those adjustments as we need to, and then make other adjustments to compensate for that for you guys. Questions on that? All right, so that means 113 agents on individual comp plans. 1 agent in our office is on tenure. Does anybody know what that means? I had to. They've been around a long time. We had a couple of, actually, we had like 7 or 8 agents last year on tenure, and I had to talk them all out of it. There's 2 of them standing in this room because they were leaving money on the table. And I was like, we're not going to do that. Yeah, Kerry Walker's raising his hand proud. So 1 agent still on tenure. Yeah, it took I think it took 3 years for most of you guys. So I get it. I get it. It's a safety net. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, 10-year plan is where you've been with the company for long enough that they'll say, okay, we'll protect your split so you're no longer ever going to fall below this number. And usually it's about 70 or 75. But when you're producing and you're doing really well, you're missing your 95% cap. So you're leaving money on the table. So, all right. And then we've got 21 agents on teams. All good? Questions? All right, let's wrap up with our guess who. Kerry Walker, have you been a cheerleader for 8 years? All right, so this agent was a cheerleader for 8 years, developed a subdivision, walks 3 to 5 miles per day. This does sound a little bit like you, Kerry. Worked in banking before starting a real estate career. Also sounds like Kerry. Married after 6 months of dating and going strong 46 years later. So we've got Tina guessing Pam. We've got John Nugent guessing Bob Alford. You're going with Bob? You think Bob was a cheerleader? Yeah, a military cheerleader. That's what he was. Yeah. Any other guesses? All right. I knew you guys wouldn't guess this. I was so right. Our agent of the week is Nancy Carroll Crick. Crazy, right? Married to Tom after 6 months and 46 years later. I texted her last night and I was like, how long have you been married? Because we didn't have the 46 years on there. She said 46 years. And I'm like, what? When did you get married at 10? It's crazy. So cool. So we had to put some pink around her pictures because that is her signature. So thank you for playing, Nancy Carroll. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for hanging on today. I appreciate everything you guys have done and all your hard work. Let me know how I can help you. Have a great weekend. See ya. Get it, girl.
Hey guys, if anybody can stay on, we're going to do a really quick prayer time.
Bye. Thank you. See ya. Oh, yeah. Baby voting. Baby voting.